So, without further ado, let's talk about what we saw on Sunday. Very disappointing loss. One of those losses that, if you are a Bears fan, I'm sure if you were someone in the Bears facility, if you were a part of the organization, you thought that you were going to chalk this up as a victory. Instead, the Bears lose 30-16. We'll talk about a few things today. I want to talk about why we lost. Secondly, I want to talk about Caleb's struggles. And third, I want to ask a question. I have an answer to this question, but I want to ask a question and I want to see what everybody else has to say. The question is it time to blame Ben Johnson for some of the struggles, specifically on the offensive end? But before we get to that, let's look at the overall details of what happened. Caleb Williams, 25 of 38, 285 yards, no touchdowns to pick. Leading rusher yesterday was DeAndre Swift, 11 carries for 45 yards, broke his string there. He had a little run going with back-to-back 100-yard rushing games. Obviously, if he gets over 100 yards yesterday, we probably win this game, but wasn't his fault. Wasn't even really the run game's fault. Some other things that happened. Rome Odunze had a solid statistical game, 7 catches for 114 yards, no touchdowns, so his touchdown pace has dramatically decreased. Josh Blackwell fumbled. I don't even remember that. DeMarco Jackson had a recovery. On the defensive side, Nashawn Wright led in tackles, mostly because he was getting burned as normal, and he was making tackles after he allowed the receiver his assignment to make a catch. We did get 2 sacks yesterday. Montez Sweat had a really nice sack. Gervon Dexter had a sack. I thought, again, we're not getting enough pressure, but it was a little bit better. I thought the game a little bit, not good enough, but a little bit better. Gervon Dexter also had 2 TFLs. Nashawn Wright actually had a hit on the quarterback. So no interceptions. That was a big deal for us. Devin Duvernay finally popped a long run. I had been waiting on that in special teams. He busted one off for 49 yards. We couldn't really take advantage of it too much. I think we we did score on that drive. I think that was when DeAndre Swift got the touchdown run. Punt returns wasn't much. Cairo Santos missed a field goal. It was during the hurricane kick drill at the end of the first half. That actually turned out to be a pretty big play because down the stretch, the game is different. Of course, if the Bears have 3 more points, possessions go differently. You'll see how that happens. Torrey Taylor was great. He had one amazing punt inside the 5-yard line that got wiped out by a penalty, but he had 108 yards punting on 2 punts. As far as the Ravens, Tyler Luke, perfect 3 for 3 on field goals. Jordan Stout was solid. Yeah, he put both of his punts inside the 20, so he had a great day. We're still giving up too many yards in special teams on returns. Keaton Mitchell had 2 kickoff returns, averaging 33 yards of return. Longest was 39. Rasheen Ali had 3 returns, 88 yards, averaging just under 30 yards per return. His longest was 34. Nate Wiggins had the huge interception, of course, we'll talk about. Roquan Smith led them in tackles. He was Roquan Smith, as you would expect. As far as sacks, Caleb was only sacked 1 time. Mike Green made a really good move on Theo Benedette to get to actually, it was more like Benedette left him kind of unblocked, to be honest. But Teddy Buchanan had 2 tackles for loss. They hit Caleb 4 times, but only actually sacked him the 1. Mark Andrews had a fumble on the sidelines. He caught the ball, got hit. I can't recall who hit him. Ball went out of bounds, but unfortunately, it went out of bounds. So that was that. Zay Flowers led them in receiving, 7 receptions for 63 yards. Charlie Kohler caught their only touchdown pass. And Derrick Henry had 71 yards on 21 rushes. And Tyler Snoop Huntley was 17 for 22, 186 yards and a touchdown, no picks, sacked twice.